everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of the movie Home Alone. And this stars Macaulay Culkin. This is a nice classic one. John Hughes is involved, directed by Christopher Columbus. We've got John Candy in here, John Williams doing music. It's a lot of, I was like, oh shit, we've got a lot of interesting Johns in here that are from kind of like 80s, 90s, and this came out in 1990, so I was like, alright, it is a classic for a reason, but it's, granted, it's also the time to kind of like do it as well, because it's Christmas time, and it's a nice Christmas movie. It's just very interesting to actually sit through and watch it, because this is another one of those cult classic ones that usually is on in the background, and I've grown up with it, but most of the time, I've usually been seen with the battle between Kevin and the burglars, and when I sat down to kind of watch this through, I recorded it from one of the other ones, and it like elongated it almost, like it made it past like 2 hours, but I skipped through the commercials and stuff to get to it's like 100-minute kind of runtime that it actually is. And it's just like, this doesn't take up the bulk of the movie as I normally remember, because that's usually my kind of frame of reference of when I come into it, when it's kind of on TV or whatnot. So sitting down and actually going through it is a nice kind of thing. That's what I kind of did with Hocus Pocus and other kind of cult classic ones, and it still holds up. I didn't have any kind of issues. It's just like, I thought he fucking fought these guys a lot longer than he did. It's like the last kind of 20, 30 minutes maybe is when we kind of start kicking off with certain things, and then I'm sitting and thinking, I'm like, what the fuck's kind of going on here with certain things in regards to phones and all that. So, we are introduced to the McAllisters. They are all in this pretty much one house, which is the titular house that we are going to pretty much be home alone in. And we see Joe Pesci's in here, which is a genius casting move. I mean, he's been pretty much through a lot of movies and known for his cursing. So this kind of goes into cartoon level kind of things of doing like cartoon things in the real world, and you can't really say like fuck, shit, holy goddamn fucking holy asshole, fuck you kind of shit. And I mean, Joe Pesci works with the word fuck like an artist to any kind of medium with like paints, watercolor, charcoal. He has such a great way with it, and seeing him fight and try and do these kind of weird kind of cartoon things is just one of those kind of locked core kind of memories of just like, it was great. So we see him as a police officer first with a gold tooth. Kevin kind of gets up to it being like, what the fuck's kind of up with him? As he's pretty much going around, which is actually a smart move, as we do not know that he is one of the burglars yet, as things are kind of progressing, as he's kind of going around actually casing the joints like this. Is like, damn, that's actually a pretty smart thing, even though towards the end it's like, you stupid as shit. So they're pretty much getting ready to go to Paris and everything. We start seeing everything kind of going on with the kind of family dynamics here. Now it's kind of funny because everybody's like, oh, Kevin's a little shit and everything like that, and I don't agree with that assessment. Like, there's a lot of crazy ass shit going on, and you kind of see that they're attempting to kind of put it on like that. And I can see how people would latch onto that because everybody's trying to get ready. Kevin, who is like 8 years old, is trying to figure out what he needs to pack. I'm like, he hasn't. Telling me what kind of 8-year-old by themselves would know what to pack for an international trip and what kind of goes on. Just for me, learning throughout my old fucking ass is like, okay, whatever your trip's length is, take at least 1 to 2 emergency pairs of underwear past that as a general fucking rule. Just for my own kind of benefit. And they're expecting him to be like, oh, just let mom do it and everything like that. And it's like, he's trying to kind of get everything kind of going on. He tries to bring up to his mother that everybody's being pretty much shitty towards him. And she's like, no, I'm fucking doing this. And I'm trying to talk to someone. The father's doing the same thing. He kind of gets called out for fucking around with something that he really shouldn't be fucking around with. And it's like, what the fuck's kind of going on? Also, this is in when Winnetka, a Chicago suburb. Let's see. I don't agree with that Wikipedia assessment. I mean, he needs fucking help, and everybody's just shitting on him, like calling him incompetent and French and shit, and just being like, fuck you, man. And then, of course, we get the pizza there. We see that Joe Pesci's character is trying to, like, get to one of the parents. It's funny seeing him go through. He's like, hey, kid, where's your parents? Not here. I was like, oh, okay. Where's your parents? They're here. Do they live here? No. Fuck me. Like, even in his case scene, it's like, god damn. Pizza person shows up, gets all this stuff. Buzz is the complete antithesis of what an older brother should be. Just shitting on the dude, scaring Kevin by doing this whole thing with old man Morley, saying that he's, like, killed people and uses the salt, like, has the bodies in the salt thing. It's like, fuck you, man. Morley's kind of bit, I can see why it's kind of a little bit kind of latched onto this. It needed a little bit more work to make it a little bit more organic, but I like what it's there for. Okay? I'm not saying it needs to be cut entirely. It does serve its purpose. It's like, what the fuck? And then Buzz being an asshole and being like, yeah, we ate all your cheese pizza, because he doesn't like any of the other pizzas. It's like, okay. These motherfuckers are the ones that ordered the pizza and knew how much pizza was going to be there. If you intentionally go and eat somebody else's pizza, that could be just because of their preferences or even dietary requirements. You are going, fuck you, eat ass, wholesale, motherfucker. Like, Kevin's reaction is like, fuck you, dick shit, as he's like, oh, you want some cheese pizza? Let me puke it up for you. It's like, that's not how I would be as an older brother. And that's not how I've been as an older brother. And it's like, fuck you, man, you fucking asshole. And then they start fighting, and I do not feel for the people that had passports and everything else around various drinks and shit, as they're attempting to pretty much give Kevin this thing, kind of be like, you're ruining everything, yeah, and fucking around the passports and papers, which of course fucks kind of Kevin over because his ticket's kind of tossed as well. Doesn't really matter because he still gets left behind. So, oh yeah, the brother bit, because he's been told to stay out of his room, but the thing is, Kevin, once he starts getting into things, needs kind of money and knows where Buzz's stash is and kind of has to climb some stuff. I would actually... That's really smart of him to do, to survive that kind of thing once everything starts rolling around. So I would, as a brother, be like, hey, cool, I'm glad you did that to make sure you could survive and have food and shit. Just make sure you write down how much you took and we'll hash it out later. I don't give that much of a shit. You're alright. That's cool. Buzz would probably be ecstatic if his brother died, to be honest with you. I mean, he would lament the shit that he would have to go through to deal with it, of like, oh, all this paperwork, we gotta go to the funeral and all that shit. I mean, there's like 2 other sisters, and there's like, let's see, it's almost like 5 kids and like 2 adults. It's like, god damn, just in Kevin's immediate family. So they're pissed off at him. The mother pretty much drags him upstairs. He tries to make sure that they don't stick him with Fuller because he wets the bed. And she's like, nah, you're just going upstairs. We're going to make sure that... And this is, of course, where we get into the main kind of thing, because the anchor kind of points that we really get, and the really kind of fleshed out ones, are Kevin and the mother with their kind of relationship where he wishes that he didn't have a family anymore. And she's like, well, fuck you kind of shit, and then closes the door on him. And it's like, well, he actually thinks that he, like, wished his family away. Once this whole thing kind of goes down. And the plot has to do some extra kind of lifting to kind of have that as the main kind of plot point going forward. So, during the night, shit goes down, electric goes out, phone lines go out as well. So, instead of getting up early, they're late, and they forget Kevin in the rush, because one of the neighbor kids has kind of seen what's kind of going on, and he gets counted as Kevin instead. So, they kind of buck off. They're able to get to the plane for Paris, and then that's when Kevin's mom realizes that they forgot him and freaks out. Catherine O'Hara, fucking great. The scream, how she tries to get back to Kevin once they actually start trying to figure out what's kind of going on and trying to see what's going on. Kevin's like, yeah. He's like figuring out what's kind of going on, what he can kind of do. He needs toothbrushes. He tries to kind of like go down and see what's going on, but he's afraid of the furnace down there, but eventually gets over that. He kind of gets Marley. Gets afraid of Marley. Let's see. And he accidentally commits shoplifting. We get that kind of little bit in there. He, of course, gets the money out of Buzz's room and destroys his shelving, but the shelving is pretty shitty anyway, so it's like that was going to happen anyway, as his tarantula is let loose to pop up later during the burglary incidents. We see him buying food for himself, dealing with the cashier and everything, pretty much being able to be smart enough to be like, oh yeah, my mom's outside, and making sure that he's able to get everything that he kind of needs, getting his shit kind of dropped. We see that, let's see, Harry and Marv are the burglars, and they pretty much get everything set down. They know the timings and everything. They want the McAllister one as the kind of focal point that they've got. We do see that as they arrive in Paris, they're attempting to call everything, but nobody's really picking up. One of the weird kind of bits does happen, though, is that Kevin's father is still attempting to call, and Kevin at one point does order a pizza for himself. So the phone line was working at a certain kind of point, and I'm just like, why didn't they try and call him? And at this point, the mother has pretty much bartered her way into getting onto a plane, gets into Scranton, and then links up with John Candy's polka group that pretty much are renting a van to drive, let me see, was it Milwaukee? Milwaukee, yeah. So they're going to drop her off in Chicago. That's like 11 hours. Now, she has more of an excuse for not attempting to call the house and get that whole kind of bit of like, I wish my family away. Because we do see Kevin go to a Santa to be like, can I just have my family back? And it's like, oh, sure, as he gets Tic Tacs and everything. Because the elf took the candy canes and stuff. And we do see that Harry and Marv do their kind of wet bandit thing, which does give them infamy. They do learn that Kevin is alone because they attempted to go into the house before, and of course he's utilizing this movie that was made for the movie. It doesn't exist, but it was made for this movie to get, of course, his pizza, to get the wet bandits to vacate the premises before they were like, that kid's alone. Because one of the calls actually leaves an leaves a message on the answering machine. I was like, okay, we're going after that kid. Fuck that shit. Now they do. Kevin also does see them, understands what's kind of going on, and he does all these kind of elaborate things, making it look like there's a house party and everything like that, that he's doing a tree by himself. Doing a tree himself, but then calling for his dad and everything. They're like, fuck you, man. We're going in for this shit. And that is where it then escalates to Looney Tunes level kind of shit. Now, I can understand both then and now. People be like, this is really unrealistic. These fuckers would be dead. Yes, they would. Now, this, I think, straddles the line between, like, realism and kind of cartoon magical kind of realism of, like, trying to be like, okay, we've got this kid home alone. He's got to deal with these motherfuckers. Are we going complete horror kind of route realism? Is he going to kill these motherfuckers? Or are these motherfuckers going to kill him? Or are we going to do this more along the lines of kind of Looney Tunes? He's Bugs Bunny. They are like Wile E. Coyote. Or Bugs Bunny, Elmer Fudd, Wile E. Coyote, and the Roadrunner. What are we going to do here with this? So they went more with the kind of cartoon one because any of these traps pretty much made up would kill these motherfuckers outright and kind of end it. But they want more of the kind of set piece action. Since it's kind of doing it for certain kind of plot purposes and kind of plot demands, I kind of accept it, because otherwise it completely and utterly destroys the movie and you can't have the movie then. So it's like, alright, Kevin needs to understand that he, or at least believe that he has wished his parents away. So we've got some things of like they're not being able to call in on this, which I don't actually have a problem with, but it's more kind of like when I was thinking about it, like, why didn't they kind of try a little bit on different kind of things? Now, it might have been because of timeline-wise, they might have been coming over, because almost immediately after the mom gets home, the rest of them pop up and, yeah, we just waited, so we're good here. So that could also be an effect. But we get a lot of good set pieces. Hot fucking doorknobs taking on Harry. Marv getting down and getting shot. Harry getting shot as well with a BB gun that was from Buzz's room. The flame. Fucking Harry getting his hand burned in with the M from the McAllisters on the doorknob. Him getting flamed on the head and being like, oh! And like, holy fucking shit. Marv getting down and trying to get into the basement, using a crowbar, but then finding it open, losing his shoes and socks on tar that Kevin has done up, and then piercing his foot with a giant fucking nail that if you were looking at any kind of spot because your feet are fucked up, you'd probably fucking see, but it's like, no. So the level of stupidity, and it makes sense. I mean, these guys were smart enough to try and case the stuff, but they think that the kid is stupid as shit, and he's not. He proves that over and over. We get him leaving the cars because he was told to put the cars away, and then just woof, the matchbox cars, and then of course hitting him with the fucking paint ones, just crash. Oh god. Then we get the fucking spider. Oh god, the tarantula freaking Marv out. It getting on Harry, and then Harry's pummeling him with a fucking crowbar, and then he's like, "Fuck you, asshole." Oh, let's see. He does, smartly enough, while everything's kind of going on, calls the police, saying that he's Marley. Because before this was going on, we also see that he talked with Marley and actually had a nice heart-to-heart with him, where he's like, yeah, it's okay, you can talk to me and everything, and then brings up that he's here to see his granddaughter, because him and his son had a falling out, and that he's afraid that his son won't talk to him if he calls him. Like, well, call him, then you'll know. It's like, oh, cool. And he impersonates Marley to make sure that the police kind of come, because the police had been sent to check on Kevin, and he hid. It's like, it's kind of understandable. They don't announce them. They didn't even really announce themselves as police. They just knocked on the door. It's like, the mother having to deal with the police department of being shuffled from the initial line to the family services line and then back again. It's just like, oh my god. And then John Candy talking about, like, it's nuts, because he's like, we left him home alone. It's like, yeah, I didn't leave him on vacation, but we left a kid at a fucking funeral home once. Spent all day with that corpse before we figured out where he was. Didn't talk for like 6 or 7 weeks. Evidently, John Candy was ad-libbing that, and she's like, oh my god, fuck that. I'm sorry I asked, shut the fuck up, please. And saying that, like, the rest of the people in the polka band are not good people either, because they have to, like, travel, like, almost a whole year to make the money that they do. It's like, oh shit. So he pretty much gets back out of the house, gets back in, and gets into pretty much the Murphy's place, where they've got the kind of calling card, and they kind of got him dead to rights, but Marley pops up and bangs him in the head with the shovel and gets him down. It's like, alright, cool. Let's see. They get arrested and everything, like, oh yeah, we got you assholes. And the thing is, they were mainly trying to think of, when they first thought that, like, somebody got killed, they're like, we should know who the fuck is doing that. It kind of backfired on Kevin, because Harry's like, we should probably know that in case we do get pinched, and we can just be like, hey, there's a murderer, let us out. So Kevin does wake up on Christmas Day and is disappointed that his family's not there, but his mom pops up, and they kind of have a nice reunion before everybody else pops up as well. And we see that they pick up Harry's knocked out tooth, and Kevin watches that Marley has a nice reunion with his family, as he did call, and he's able to hug his granddaughter and everything, and they just kind of goes in, and then Buzz yelling at Kevin of what he did to his room. So it's a really good one and a classic one, and it's very interesting because of how the structure is. We do get a lot of time on Kevin acclimating to his kind of circumstances, trying to figure out what's going on before it is built up to the Looney Tunes-esque craziness as we get all of the kind of set pieces in the kind of Rube Goldberg machine of what Kevin is able to engineer. It's very much within the realm of Looney Tunes and very well executed on that front. The main kind of issue is that there's people involved, and if you have that as your kind of main block point, I totally get it. And if you're like, a lot of these things would kind of take you out of the movie, that makes sense. If you don't like the movie, that's quite alright and cool. Totally get that. I found things that I didn't even think about when I was going, especially when they were trying to like figure out, Kevin was able to call out with the pizza. Why didn't more people kind of call? Because the main plot point is that he thinks that he wished his family away. Anything that kind of breaks the tension of when his mother comes home. And then they have that kind of thing. So I get what they were going for. I just wish they had a little bit more plot points to kind of make it work a little bit better organically. Doesn't destroy my enjoyment of the movie because it just works very well. Macaulay Culkin and Catherine O'Hara work very well as Kevin and his mother, and their kind of relationship of adversarial at first when we're seen in the beginning, and then just conciliatory at the end is like, oh, fucking shit. Yeah, we got shit, but we're back on track now. So, I'll definitely still kind of recommend this. It still works out well. There's no real kind of weirdness. You just might have to talk to people about certain kind of technologies. So like, no caller ID, man. If shit goes out, shit goes out. You could now be like, yeah, you'd have a better shot of being home alone then than you would now with everything in tech and all that. You'd have like multiple other kind of avenues. You'd probably be able to look into some kind of security system or whatnot to kind of work that kind of out. You'd have a harder time going with that kind of premise on this movie. It would be harder, but not impossible to kind of do. It was just like, a lot of people are like, oh, Kevin was being a little shit, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? I mean, yes, he's being somewhat asshole-ish, but everybody else, he's just giving what he's getting. You know what I mean? And even he's not even really giving it at a level that, like, they're kind of giving it to him. It's like fuck you, man. Like, he's not blameless, but it's not like he just fucking... It's not like he took one of their cats or, like, pets or whatnot and fucking said, eat ass wholesale, and fucking, like, killed it in the front yard and went, hey-yo, motherfucker, and, like, draped its corpse around him or something, or fucking tried to, like, kill one of his siblings. I mean, he attempted to beat the shit out of Buzz because he ate all his pizza, and I'm like, dude, that's not cool. Like, fuck you, man. And then pretending to barf it up for him to eat. I definitely get why that would be the final straw for Kevin, because everybody's calling him an idiot. Nobody's helping him with packing, and this dick has to just fucking... He's probably looking forward to that cheese pizza. And he's like, ha, guess what? None for you, fucker. It's like... And it's just, I get it. If that's that one thing that you're looking forward to, and those people know you're looking forward to it, and then they fucking take it away from you anyway, and go, and it's like, you know what? Fuck off. So, yeah. But I do like Kevin's interactions with all the rest of the characters that we see. The checkout lady asking if this toothbrush is approved by the American Dental Association. All this kind of stuff. It just works pretty well, and I enjoy it. So those are my opinions on the movie. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.